and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Hustle and Close podcast. I'm your host, Isaac, and as always, I'm here with my guys. I got my guy JJ right here with me. I got my guy Chad with me. It's squad, right? This is the team. These are the guys. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
How's everybody doing?
Good. In the dream.
All right. So before we get this kicked off, man, let's talk. Any plans for the weekend? Anything special going on? You guys got anything? Getting busy, getting active out
We
there?
are going to see the mother-in-law.
Okay. That's always exciting. I know a thing or two about that. What about you, Chad? Because JJ's done. He don't got nothing else going on. So we'll go straight to you.
Nah, with traveling and everything recently, I think it's time for me to do a little bit of yard work, cleaning up around the house.
Yep.
Kicking back some barley pups.
Yep. Man, I did my yard work last weekend. I gotta do a little something this weekend. But it's graduation season, as you guys know. I got a nephew graduating this weekend, so I'll be attending that. And I'll just try and get some yard work done too, man. But that's about it. That's about it. Nothing special going on. So well, listen, guys, let's get active, man. I'm excited for this episode. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about specifically is we're all movie buffs here, right? We all love movies. I'm a big movie guy. I know JJ and Chad are too. So I thought it would be cool to talk about our favorite sales movies. So think about it for a second. Pause, think about it. But there's some really, really good ones out there. And I know our audience is going to be like, how did you forget this one? How did you forget that one? But I think we got some good stuff. So I'm going to swing it over to JJ first, and I'm going to let you kick us off, man. What are your favorite? Give me your top 2 or 3 favorite sales movies.
So number one's got to be Boiler Room.
Okay.
It speaks for itself. I mean,
Yep.
If you're thinking about going in sales, if you've been in sales, if you need something to lift you up, man, that's a strong movie.
That's the one.
Number 2, you can't go wrong with Wolf of Wall Street. That is an amazing movie. And I got one that you don't hear a lot about, but if you pay attention and focus to the movie, man, there's a lot of good knowledge in there and a lot of good nuggets. It's Focus. I don't know if y'all seen Focus, but Focus is
Will Smith.
It's strong.
It is.
I think
Focus is it's just a cool vibe, man. Right?
Man, yeah.
Focus is just a cool vibe. There we go, right there.
Yeah.
It's just a cool, smooth dude. I love Focus. Absolutely. Chad, what about you, man? What's some of your give me a couple?
Honestly, my number one, and I think it's more of the action, was always The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Oh, classic.
I mean, especially with McConaughey going like hitting the chest, getting it going. and then you also said the other one earlier, like this one right here.
Yep. Boiler Room.
Oh, Boiler Room.
Classic.
I mean, but this stemmed off of you got a little Fast and Furious after this because Vin was in it.
Yep.
Everybody forgets.
Yeah, you forget Vin was in that, man. Vin was in that. He wasn't as bulked up then, though. He was a little.
He was still doing his Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo commercials.
But when he did the Rayco call, whenever they Rayco, and he got that phone.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
man. There's so many. Wolf of Wall Street is like at the top of the food chain, right? Wolf of Wall Street is not only one of the greatest sales movies ever, but just one of the greatest movies ever. I absolutely love it. I'll go to a sleeper, not a sleeper really, but maybe people don't think about it as a sales movie, kind of like with Focus, but Jerry Maguire.
Ooh.
Jerry Maguire is a classic, right? It's an all-time great movie. Tom Cruise was made for this role, aside from probably, obviously all of the franchise he has with Mission Impossible, but he was made for this movie, man. Cuba Gooding Jr. just really put him on a different level. So Jerry Maguire is obviously one of my favorite movies, but also one of my favorite sales movies. Wolf of Wall Street, we said that. And then I'd probably have to go with a real sleeper. A lot of people have not seen this movie, but it is an awesome movie, man, and I absolutely love it. It's Al Pacino, it's Matthew McConaughey, it's Two for the Money, right? Two for the Money is it's just a beautiful film about rags to riches, and Matthew McConaughey, he's this guy who's just doing this low level sales job, and gets connected with Al Pacino, who's running this, sports betting agency and all of this stuff, man. And it just turns into like a whole different situation. So, great movie there. We won't give any spoilers about Two for the Money because I know a lot of you guys haven't seen that yet. So I won't give away.
I've never seen that. I think I'm gonna try to catch up on that this weekend.
Man, Two for the Money is awesome. You gotta get into it. JJ, from your movie, give me your favorite quotes or your favorite lines. Oh, and how could we forget the classic coffee is for closers, baby. Coffees is for closers, baby. Glengarry Ross, like another classic movie, obviously, right there at the top of the charts when it comes to sales movies. So, but give me your favorite line from one of your movies, man. Give me something.
You mind if I throw out a honorable mention real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't forget Tommy Boy.
Oh
my God. Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
You want a guarantee?
and I'll tell you, man, we talk about sales a lot on this podcast, and one of the things that you see in Tommy Boy, and one of the lessons from Tommy Boy, I'll jump into Tommy Boy. I'll give a lesson about Tommy Boy real quick. One of the lessons from Tommy Boy is confidence is key, right?
Yes.
Because once he realized once he made that first sale, that was it. He was off to the races, and it was they couldn't stop him then. And that's just because of confidence. It's like, oh, you like that? You find your talk track, right? Oh, you like what I said? Okay, cool. Let me double down on that. Let me really lean into that. And that's what Tommy Boy did. So I absolutely love that movie.
Sorry for sidetrack. So
yeah.
There's no such thing as a no-cost sale. Either you sell the customer on why they need your product, or they sell you on why you don't. When you leave, somebody sold every time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love it. What about you, Chad? Anything from one of your any lines from one of your movies that really stick out to you?
I mean, the ABC, always be closing.
Yes.
So we're gonna try to keep it PC too, or PG. But
13
coffees for closer. Alec Baldwin and Glenn Ross is awesome.
Masterful.
And also in Boiler Room, is it Affleck, right? When he comes in,
the desk.
Yeah.
Those is keys across the table.
Yep.
You will be a millionaire in your first 3 years of employment. Depends on how many times over.
Yep. Ooh. That's hot stuff right there, Ben. I'll jump in there and I'll say, man, there's a couple, right? There's a so when I think about Two for the Money, it's not so much a line, but a quote. One of the quotes is, and I've always used this in my sales career: time is man's most rarest commodity, right? And we know, like, we're all in, it's no secret what we do, right? We're all sales trainers. We've all been in sales. And so, I think one of the keys to being successful in anything, but primarily in sales, because that's what we're here for, is you have to be efficient with your time, right? Time is man's most rarest commodity. We don't get it back. It doesn't come back, baby. Ain't no time coming in. You can't buy time, right? So time is continuously rolling. And so that was one of my favorite quotes. And then when I think about Jerry Maguire, it's real simple, man. It's two, right? The classic line: "Show me the money. Show me the money." Cuba Gooding Jr. is on. He's talking to He's talking to Tom Cruise, and they're going through it, man. And so that's a classic line. But then also, and this is completely aside from sales. This has nothing to do with sales. But the moment when Tom Cruise walks into the house and his wife says, oh, and he tells his wife, "You complete me." Right? That's
Mm.
that's a classic line, man. That's a classic scene in that movie. I love it, love it, love it, love it. But yeah, really, really cool, man. I mean, I just thought this was a great topic. You know, when we talk about sales movies, because there's so much there. You know, so many good ones. Give me another sleeper, man. Somebody give me another sleeper. Who's got another one? Let's talk about another one.
You can't. I mean, you can never go wrong. Pursuit of Happiness. I mean, when he had really nice pants on.
Yes.
I mean, what am I going to say if I hire somebody? He had nice pants.
Yes, yes. Man, I'll tell you, I went to the movies to see Pursuit of Happiness. I went to the movies to see most of these movies, but I went to the movies to see Pursuit of Happiness. And I think I was with a young lady, right? If I can recall. And I remember like sitting there, and it was the scene where he's in the bathroom with his son. Obviously, everybody knows Pursuit of Happiness.
Yep.
Will Smith goes homeless. But he's just an awesome. So he's selling medical machines, and then he, goes into a financial, the financial sector or whatever, and he's interning there. But through all of that, he loses everything. He loses his wife, loses his house. But a real story of perseverance, right? Because he lost everything, and so Will Smith loses everything. Him and his son are homeless. They're sleeping in shelters. One night, gets to the shelter too late. They don't have any beds available. They're just roaming the city. He goes in the subway, locks himself and his son in the bathroom, and he's on the floor. And this is the scene where these are the moments, right? When you're with your wife, or you're with your significant other, and you got to shoulder up, right? You can't let the tears drop. But Will Smith is in the bathroom, and he's got the door locked. He's leaning up against the door. He tells his son, "Oh, let's pretend it's dinosaurs, and they're trying. We got to hide away from the dinosaurs." He goes in the bathroom, locks the door, and people start banging at the door, and you just see the tears just rolling down his face.
Down his face, man. Yeah, that is.
And it's so tough, man. And because in that moment, it's just extremely. You got a girl. And in my case, I had a young lady sitting next to me, and I'm like, I'm trying to keep my eyes low. I'm like, is somebody cutting onions in here? Like, I'm really feeling it right now. But no, Pursuit of Happiness is great, and his perseverance in that was second to none, man. So really excited about that. But we're gonna move on here, man. We got some cool stuff coming up for you guys. One of the things in particular that I'm really excited for is we have a special guest coming in today. I don't know, is our special guest here, Chad? I don't know if he's here yet. He's not here yet. So we'll keep rolling, man. Let me ask you guys this. New sales rep starts, right? Because again, no secret here. We're all trainers, right? This is what we do. You know who we are, you know what we do, right? So we're all trainers here. Let me ask you a question. New sales rep starts, and they say, hey, if you can give me one piece of advice, just one thing that you can give me that will carry me through my career, what will it be? I'll swing it to JJ first.
I gave it today.
Okay.
I always give it. So we've got a new sales rep in one of our branches, technician for 20 years, knows the game, knows how to grind and get what we do, get it done.
Yep.
But it was amazing for him because when he goes to work, he opens up his computer and it tells him what to do. Hey, you go to this call first, you go to this call next, you do this. So my advice to him was to plan your day and work your plan. I mean, because if you don't plan what you have going on every single day, and for the next day, you will sit at home eat Cheetos, and watch a sales movie that you could be out there doing yourself.
That's right. That's right. Well, again, it's time management, right? Like that's the biggest thing. What you got for us, Chad?
So I'm going to put a pin in this because we are on a tight time schedule, but we do have our guests.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, this guy deserves a proper introduction. So let me do it. We have the czar. We have one of the strongest minds in the game, man. A guy who is full of personality, which is why we have him here. Because we need somebody with personality and excitement, and this he brings it every time, man. He is an award winner, one of the hardest working guys in the game, and just an astute gentleman and a scholar, ladies and gentlemen. So I give you my man, Mr. Sean Skelly. Take Sean in here, man.
Oh, don't let me break down, man. Don't let me break down.
Sean,
Yes, thanks for the walk-up music. Appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Sean, man? How you doing?
Hey, not too much. I was just chilling in the waiting room there for a minute, and I heard that there's Cheetos going on. Just chilling and eating Cheetos is the first thing when I jumped on. I was like, all right, where are they at, man? Come on, hook me up.
There's a little bit of time management. If you don't manage the time, you end up at the house eating Cheetos.
That's right.
Ramen noodles.
First of all, I want to thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you being here, man. This is exciting for us to have you here, and you're always like a shining star, man. You're a real rock star in the game, man, and we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come and join us. So, but man, we want to talk to you about a few things, man, because you're a man of many talents and a master of them all. So we want to talk to you about a few things, but before we get into it, man, I want to get a little background on you. Maybe I think everybody knows who you are now. But we want to really get a feel for, what made you who you are and kind of life before security, right? And what got you into the game. But we'll get to that. But more so, first question I got it for you is, man, I guess talk to me about, before security, before Vector and what kind of, what were you doing then and how did you get to where you are now?
Yeah, I wish I had some really cool story how I got into the security business, right? So I went to college, and of course, you go to college, you get a degree, man. You're getting out of there, you're getting this awesome job. So I needed some experience under my belt, and a friend of mine worked at ADT and said, "Hey, I got this job. It's pretty cool." She graduated the year before, so she goes, "The security industry is pretty, it's pretty fun. There's something new every single day, and it's good to get some sales experience under your belt." So I'm like, all right, sounds great. So, so I applied for the job and got into it. I'm like, all right, cool. This will be a good stepping stone for me. Get into business, get some sales experience under my belt, and then move on to some big time sales job. And once I got into the business, I loved it. I thought it was super cool. It was great earning potential, great way to kind of build a name for yourself, kind of grow your career and build on it. So that was 20 years ago. Isaac, I'm aging myself. I didn't have the gray hair going on back then either, dude. So, so again, I started and just kept progressing. And again, once you get in this business, as you guys know, right, it's hey, you like helping people, right? First off, you gotta like what you do, right? And have a purpose. So really helping people out there, and knowing that you're making a difference for people, but also the technology side of it, it's changing all the time. It doesn't get stagnant. Heck, man, the coolest thing when I started was wow, fire starts, smoke detector goes off, and it calls the central station, right? That was pretty wild. They had X10 lights that you can control through your phone that may or may have not worked sometimes, and you had these little dials but
Yeah.
key fobs were like your mobile device. So where we've come from then, so it's changed, and every day it's changing. So I think that's what keeps me excited and keeps me in the game a little bit, and continuing to learn all the new tech out there. So yeah. So started in sales role, and just kept rolling since then. And brought me to Vector. So.
Awesome, man. Well, first of all, it may have a little silver in it, but you still have a good head of hair, dude. Don't even worry about it. Don't forget about it. You still look great.
Man. Make sure it looks good for the camera, you know?
Yep. What school did you go to? And like where are you originally from? Like growing up, all of that good stuff.
Listen, if I tell you, go easy on me, all right? The Jersey jokes, hold back, okay? I've heard them all before. Sales or the armpit of America. So go easy, all right? So always grew up in Jersey, lived in Jersey, right outside of Philly. So you heard the intro music. Somebody knows I'm an Eagles fan. So but went to school Northeast PA up Bloomsburg University. Go Huskies, man. Played rugby up there for Bloomsburg for 4 years. So it's a great school. But yeah, that's where I met my wife, and the rest is history, man.
Awesome. JJ, what you got for him?
Yeah, so you kind of already answered what I was going to ask you, but you mentioned something. So you mentioned rugby, so you're probably a pretty hard, rough player. And we talked about football a little bit. What do you think about these players? 20 of them can make it in the NFL.
Oh, wait, what 20?
The NBA, 20 of them. You hadn't heard that?
20 players can make it in the NFL?
Yeah. So there was a podcast the other day that I heard. It said there's 20 NBA players could come over to NFL and be successful tomorrow.
NBA players, as a tight end, I know like the Antonio Gates of the world. Come on, he proved that he could pull that off, right? So, you always hear LeBron James, they float his name out there. He had his choice, right? So I think the skills from the NBA transition well over to football, probably, right? So, my 5'9" on a good day, I don't know if I'd transition well to a tight end out there, but I think some of these big NBA guys can pull it off. So
awesome.
Absolutely. Chad, what you got for him, man?
So, Sean, you just recently transitioned over into the multifamily unit. And so, like, how did you get into it? And, like, what's some of your thoughts, the trends, and overall, how's it going?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, I mentioned earlier about why I got into the business, or why I stayed into the business, because it keeps changing, right? Never in my wildest dreams. We sell security, got Vector Security, right, in the name. So never did I think like, hey, we'd be selling systems out there that didn't really involve traditional security, right? But really the automation aspect of it. So I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago, Chad, we were looking for some different avenues to bring in and differentiate ourselves and bring in some additional clients. And hey, how can we grow our business? How can we grow our client base? How can we provide additional services? So we kind of looked at some different options and some different partners, and found that, hey, we're doing this already. We just got to repurpose what we're already doing, reposition it, and utilize it for smart property management, right? So we started off doing single family property management, a lot of build to rent. We had a client that we were doing in the builder, and then he was flipping houses at first, and then he started renting them. So we're already using the tech there. So we were able to partner with our friends at Point Central originally as our original partner to say, hey, let's transition this into property management on the single family front, then got into smaller multifamily, duplex, triplex, quads, and stuff like that. Dabbled into the short-term rental stuff, and then it kind of it kept growing, and it kept taking on a life of its own, getting more into some of the larger applications. And hey, this guy owns 3-4 units over here. Oh, you know what? I got a 16-unit building. I had a 100-unit building, and then they just kept growing. So, and then again, with our platform, it's pretty sweet because you could integrate video, access, these different services, and multifamily, they need all that, right? So it's a good fit. So we slowly transitioned our way into it, but every project's different. Every building operates a little bit differently. It breathes differently, right? So it's, hey, how can we make this building work more efficiently? How can we help the staff? How can we present it to the residents so it's a value add to them as well? So it's a win all the way around for everybody involved. So yeah, it's really we're just really looking to just kind of use that tech, and the tech's always intrigued me. So it's kind of
That's awesome. So just so you guys know, get to know Sean a little bit better. I mean, on outside of vector security and selling the multi-dwelling, I got to know Sean. He trained me when I came in, and his specialty, like his weekends are consumed with his family and friends, but most important, there are 3 things that Sean likes: gym, tan, and laundry. That's it. And here's a little photo
Come
of him.
on, man. I knew the Jersey jokes were going to start flying at some point. Listen, I'm from South Jersey. There's no blowouts, no fist bumping going on down in South. Right, come on.
I want to jump in here real quick, and then we're gonna pass it back to JJ. Two things. So I agree with you on the NFL, NBA situation. I think there's guys who could definitely, and that's like taboo, I guess. Like the NFL players were really sensitive about that over the weekend. But I think there's definitely guys who could transition. Maybe not like in B6, like jump into a game tomorrow and be successful, but you give them an off season, all of that stuff. I think there's some guys who can go in there and play.
They just can't flop. I mean, whenever they get touched, they can't fall down.
Right.
Hey, listen, I'm just saying, I was a rugby player, and hey, one of the best tackles in the NFL right now, Jordan Mailata, never touched a football. It transitioned right in, one of the top tackles in the NFL for the Eagles. Just
very true. Very true. And the thing I think people forget is most of these guys are like high level athletes and have been like their entire life. Most of them are 2-3 sports stars and could have gone either way, and been in, made it to the highest level. So I agree with you on that. Second thing, I want to ask you, man, if and this is kind of off script, but a rep comes to you and brand new rep wants to get into MDU and get into that space. What is the top thing that you would tell them to focus on, whether it be prospecting, whether it be product knowledge? Like, what if there's one thing that you could say, hey, this is what I want you to put your energy into, what would that be?
Hey, treat it like a side hustle, because you can't put all your eggs in one basket. It's a long process, the sales cycle, but I'll tell you what, it pays off in the long run. But one of the biggest things, Isaac, that I'll say is I've seen it happen, and Chad and I both have probably seen it happen firsthand, is, hey, it's always cool to go after that big whale, right? Get the big win, hit the grand slam. But we all know that doesn't happen all the time, right? There's a lot of strikeouts that happen in between. So don't solely focus on it if you're just starting to get into the game. Hey, keep doing your day-to-day, right? Keep crafting your skill and fine-tuning everything. But making sure that, hey, you know what? Put the extra time, put the extra effort in. Do that as an additional to your everyday, day-to-day, because let that be the gravy on top until you really start to build up a pipeline, until you start to get things going. But the biggest thing is, hey, use your resources, right? The beauty of what we do at Vector is we have the resources available. So if you recognize that there's an opportunity there, hey, reach out to your resources, help you get through it. That's where you'll learn, right? So that's how we all learn, right? We tap into the resources and, hey, making sure we ask for help when we need it. And then help speed up some of that process too, right? So I don't get consumed with it, and now all of a sudden all my time and efforts into that one project, and I forgot about my day-to-day stuff, right? So that's what I would say, first piece of advice. But if I'm going out there prospecting for the business and I'm looking for it, is, hey, walk onto those construction sites, those job sites that you see a multifamily going up, asking some simple questions. Don't be eating Cheetos on your couch, right, JJ? Right? Get out there and, hey, who's handling your prop tech, right? What do you got? What are you doing for smart locks on the property? And just have conversations, right?
Yep.
Take a step there, then you'll start to learn and be prepared to overcome some of those objections, and have those conversations with people. So that's the hardest part, is opening that car door and having those conversations. So but there's a ton of stuff you can do, but for starters, that's a great way to practice too, is being out there in the field and just communicate with some of these folks.
Well, that's those words from a Philly guy. Practice. Practice. I need to practice.
I'm just setting myself up left and right here.
I mean, practice.
You're setting them up, knocking them out.
You got an AI clip teed up too, don't you?
I was downloading it as we spoke.
Awesome. JJ, what you got for him, man?
So, like Chad said, besides tanning, what do you and the family like to do outside of on the weekends when y'all spare time?
Oh man, great question. I have an 11-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 5-year-old. So I wish I could tell you I had some like really cool stuff that I was doing every single weekend, but it usually consists of lacrosse games, soccer games, basketball games. But when I am not doing that, I'm going to say go to the Jersey Shore. Go ahead, let it rip again, guys. So the summer times we'll spend a fair amount of time down at the beach, but spending time with the family, man, is big with me. Eagles games, usually try to squeeze a couple of those in. Yes, oh my goodness, how'd you get a picture of me? Squeeze some Eagles games in, and smoking some meats is definitely usually on the weekend agenda as well. So getting some pork butts going, man, and sitting out there for a nice smoke session there. So, but yeah, so it's a lot of family time, JJ. So
good, yeah. So I love to
cook. I wish I had more time to say I was golfing every weekend or something like that, man. I wish I do enjoy golfing. I just, it's tough.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and we got a lot in common, man. I'm obviously, you're up north, I'm in the south, and barbecue is huge down here, man. So I got a couple of different smokers out there. I got a couple of Oklahoma Joes, Green Egg, got a nice guy. I love it.
I gotta come to your house, man. You could teach me a couple things, Isaac. I'm like a weekend warrior, man.
Listen, I don't want to brag. I don't, but I've won awards for my barbecue. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
This is legit. This is legit, dude. I play no games. Okay. This is very legit. I take it very
I think we need to throw down. I think we need to smoke off.
This podcast might turn into a barbecue cook-off because Chad, I don't know about JJ's barbecue background, but I know Chad he's got a couple briskets under his belt there. So
okay. Yeah. So
I did add Blackstone to my arsenal, Isaac, which I was against for the longest time. And I got to tell you, I am a believer now, man. I'm a believer.
Listen, I agree. So my wife for Father's Day last year got me a 36-inch Blackstone with the cover that pulls down on it and the side table that kicks out.
That changes the game. With the cover, changes the game.
Yeah, this is the Rolls Royce of like Blackstones. This thing was like world class. So I've done everything on it. I've done hibachi on it. I've done I've did steaks on it. I've done breakfast. I had my whole family over here. Had bacon, eggs, sausage, hash browns, pancakes, you name it. Had everything on it, man. And so I love the Blackstone. So I'm a big fan of that.
All right.
Man, before we
I know this is. I got to throw this out there. I was at Home Depot the other day. They have a master build electric smoker, but it's also a pizza oven, a charcoal, wood, and a flat top.
Wow!
Man, this thing was. And the guy was trying to sell me, but he couldn't do it. So he struck out, Sean. He struck out.
That's
hey, Chad, check your text message. Share that picture. So we are all cooks in the neighborhood. So
yeah, let's see
if we can throw that one up there. A little outdoor kitchen
right there. Awesome. Man, before we get you out of here, man, I wanna get your thoughts, right? Because I have some theories out here on your Eagles, my man.
Oh, here we go. Let me hear it.
Okay. One of them is I think the coach might be going by mid-season. Because I think Belichick is gonna come in and be the next head coach. Here's this guy right here.
All
I
right.
think Belichick's gonna be the next head coach, and I think this season is gonna be the setup for that. The other thing, I think if the offense doesn't get going, because they spent a lot of money on offense, they paid everybody. I think we could see a world where a lot of heat and a lot of pressure starts to come Jalen Hurts' way. But aside from my predictions, I want to get into yours, man. What's your prediction for the season? And you Eagles fans are sometimes not the most realistic. You're not as bad as Cowboys.
Hey, come on, man. You saw well. Your prediction is the meltdown that happened at the end of last year is going to continue on through this year, right?
A little bit, but I want to get yours. I want to see what your thoughts are, man, and then we'll let you get out of here.
Well, I don't the Bill Belichick thing. I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
Our front office, Bill Belichick wants too much control, and Howie's not going to give that up in the front office, in my opinion. Okay, I'm not some insider, but it's just my thoughts. However, the Nick Sirianni thing, there's been a lot of change up, now that we got Vic Fangio on D coordinator, he's got some experience under his belt. And then they brought in Kellen Moore for the offensive coordinator. So I think that's going to take a lot of heat away from Sirianni. There's a little bit more experience on the coordinator side of the ball. So I really think that's going to help him out a lot. So he's not going to be as much of the face of the coaching staff. There's going to be a little heat taken off of him between Fangio and Kellen Moore. So, however, depends on which morning sports talk show you're listening to, Isaac. Last year, man, they lose one game, man, and fans are calling back, get a new coach in here, man, get him out of here, right? So you just never know. But I don't think by midseason they'll get rid of him. I think they're going to this year. I think by getting some tenure under their belt, offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, I think we're going to be sitting pretty, man. Just watch out. No collapse.
You got some good receivers.
What's that?
Y'all acquired a couple good. You got a Florida State receiver.
That's it, man. We got some good receivers, and the draft, their secondary was absolutely horrendous. Bradbury's still on the team. I don't know why, but I don't think he's going to be playing much with the way they drafted. So I'm looking forward to seeing what their secondary is going to be doing, because I think they had some major upgrades in the secondary this year. So it's going to be good. So
my only concern for the Eagles is when their quarterback goes down. I've got experience with this young man, and I'm not really that sure that he's going to help you guys get to a Super Bowl.
Look at his hands.
Yes, it's the hands for me, man. Look at the.
I think that might be photoshopped. I'm just saying, but hey, you know what? I don't know. I'm just a guest here, so.
That is crazy. That is crazy, man. Sean, man, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you for joining the podcast today, man. And we know you got a tight schedule, man, so we're gonna get you out of here, man. But thank you so much.
Oh yeah. Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate having me on.
See you later.
Hey, don't forget about me when you do the barbecue podcast. I'll be back for that one,
all right. Cut it off. Sean's gone. Thank you, Sean. Sean's a great guy. So
Awesome.
Yeah, we are extremely excited. Before we get out of here, man, before Sean got on, we kind of left off on advice, right? Advice that you would give a new sales rep. Just a little tidbit. JJ, you mentioned plan your day, which is obviously vital. Chad, give me something, man. You got a new sales rep starting the day, and he tells you, hey, give me one nugget that I can take with me and carry with me. What's that going to be?
So there's a book from a while ago. I think it was the 1 Minute Sales Manager, or it may have been in the 1 Minute Salesperson. And it says in there, there's a section in there called the tombstone theory, right? And what that is the tombstone theory is, do you want to be known for the person that has won all the sales contests, has gotten the trips, and did everything, all the sales accolades that you can get? Or do you want to be known as the salesperson that helped his customers? Sometimes sitting back and realizing and helping how the customer actually interacts with you, with the company, their experience, and finding out their needs is what it truly means to be a salesperson. You don't want to be that hypothetical or the typical used car salesperson. I mean, that style, that way of selling has gone away a long time ago. Now it's about being a consultant. And when you can take that consultative approach and truly help your customers, it's going to pay dividends in the end. Because most people, I mean, we're out there, it's a grind. The world has changed. We're not knocking on every single door. We're not even able to knock on a lot of doors. And if COVID taught us anything, we had to think outside the box. Yes. And the only way that you're going to think outside the box is by doing something different, asking referrals, building your own network, being your own BNI or networking group that you have out there. And the only way you're going to do that is by honesty and integrity and showing your customers that you actually care.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I think both of you guys had some very poignant points with the planning your day, but also, in terms of what you were saying, Chad, and, nobody wants to use car salesman. We want, we take a consultative approach to this. And that's so true, because, I tell reps this, but it's also true for our customers, right? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So it's extremely important to make sure that you do that. And so to put a bow on it, I'll bring it full circle and just combine a little bit of the two for what you guys said. One of my favorite sayings, and I don't think I heard this from anybody. I think I created this myself, so I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for this one. But sales is 50% ego, 50% empathy, right? You got to have enough ego, enough drive, enough will to want to be the best, to succeed, and to win at the highest level, right? But you also have to have enough empathy and compassion and care for your customers to really understand what their pain points are, what their concerns are, understand why you're there and why you're in front of them, and play to that. But at the same time, there has to be a blend of both. It's 50% ego, it's 50% empathy, right? Your drive, your will carry you and carry your work ethic and all of those good things. But the empathy, the passion that you have for your customers, will carry you over the top, right? And that's what's gonna get you to the finish line. Because again, to bring everything full circle to what Chad said, people don't care how much you know until they really know how much you care. So with that being said, guys, let's put a bow on it, man. That is our episode for today. We had a lot of good stuff. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna swing it to the guys, see if they got anything they want to leave you with. JJ, you got anything you want to leave them with?
Yeah, just one more little bow, put a little star on it with what y'all are saying. When you're with a customer, there's one thing you can do. You cannot know your information. You cannot know what product to use. You cannot know a good sales technique, but they can tell 100% whether you're genuine or not.
Yes, 100%. Authenticity matters. Chad, what you got for them?
So, guys, right above my head, right about there, we're powered by Vector Security. So, guys, make sure you go out there, hit this sub button, subscribe, like, thumbs it out, share us. We're going to be on all platforms. We're going to try to do this every week and come at you live at some point. We're going to be check us on iTunes, Amazon Music. Also, we are on YouTube. So eventually we are going to do a live broadcast, but for anything sales related, anything powered by Vector, this is the place all day, every day. Thank you, Isaac and JJ.
And you know that, but listen, before we get out of here, always remember the H&C is not just for hustle and close, it's for humility and character. Show it, live it, breathe it. Guys, let's get out of here.